Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Have the happiest of Thanksgiving today. I'm thankful. I already got Josh. Josh said he was leaving, Rothenberg and DiPietro to listen to JD Talkin Sports. Drop the G on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube's. That's like my mom says Velcros. I go, Mom, it's Velcro, but I don't stop her anymore. She goes, I need the Velcros. But I am thankful for everybody. We're having prime rib today. Mom and I, football all day. Hal did that football game, the co-ed Thanksgiving Day flag football extravaganza, 47 years and counting. And it's going to be on the pregame on Fox between 10:30 and 12:30. So I'm definitely taping that. Oh, DiPietro and Rothenberg. Sorry there, Josh. I didn't say it the right way. Not Rothenberg and DiPietro. And because DiPietro played NHL hockey, Rothenberg's just Rothenberg. Pardon me there, Josh. And Aaron said he's making the sides today for the familia. How do you say Aguilar? Aguilar? I'm going to butcher it. Actually, I don't even know Josh. Do I know Josh's last name? I do not. I just know him as Josh. And Aaron in the car, and I always, it's Al. I think it's Aguilar. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think it's what Aguilar. Yeah, but I digress. How about Jonathan Quick last night? Lafreniere scored his 8th goal of the season, 1-0 win, and Quick is the first American goalie to get to 60 goals in a career. Couldn't sleep last night. I'm watching, Jim Irsay was on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, which is ending, which is bullshit. It's a great show. Oh, so is it Burgos or Burgos? Burgos, right? Burgos. Harji, right? Harji. And Jim Irsay was talking back in his 2014 DUI, which he just wanted to go away, so he pled guilty to a misdemeanor, which if you're not guilty, then you shouldn't. And they showed him walking. He said, I just had hip surgery. Well, they found all these pills in his car, painkillers, plus $29,000 in cash, which he could afford. And he said they were going against a rich white billionaire, which, you can't say. You just can't. I mean, you could feel it. Well, thank you, Josh. You could feel it, but it's not something you should really say. And, his dad, is vilified by Baltimore Colts fans for in '84, in the middle of the night, having the Mayflower moving trucks, moving the team in the middle of the night to Indianapolis. And Irsay took over, 24 as a GM, and then took over the team at like 36, 37 after his dad passed. You have to see his memorabilia collection. He has Ali's, what do you want to call it? His robe that he comes into the first Liston fight. He has the Beatles drum set from the appearance on what was that show called in the 60s? I'm blanking on the name of it. I see the guy's face. Well, thank you all for being here today. He had 400 different guitars. It was like a museum. And he built a hockey rink with a Zamboni at his house in Indianapolis. So he's got fuck you money. He's got a lot of money. And he definitely has had addiction problems. He used to be a power lifter. Now he can barely walk. Even talking, he has this slow, slurry talk. He said he hasn't had a drink since the early 2000s. Peyton Manning's is still a friend of his. And Peyton says he leaves these long, long voicemails to him. But he did not look healthy to me. He's like 60-something. He looks like he's 90. He can barely walk. He used to be a big dude. And he's lived hard. Yeah, Ed Sullivan. Thank you, Josh. The Ed Sullivan Show. See, that's what Josh gets it right away. And I watched it. So you should watch the interview and then he said that if he had pancreatic cancer, he'd be considered a hero. And because addiction is looked down on, it's not that it's looked down on. It's you saying that you're a rich white billionaire is what he goes, you can't say that. Just can't. No one's looking down on you with the addiction. Addiction's a terrible thing. His dad was Jim Irsay's dad was a major alcoholic. And, Andrew Kramer was asked by Brian Gumbel, is he looked down by other owners? But he's the one who stood up to who was the guy who sold the Redskins? I'm blanking. Dan Snyder. And he was one of the guys who spoke out against, because that's a old boy white network, the NFL owners. Let's be honest there. But, and he won a championship with the Colts. They're rebuilding now. He did hold out with Jonathan Taylor about paying him whatever. And I thought that was bullshit. I think you need a running back. I think Saquon showing that the Giants, he's a guy that everybody's going to be foaming at the mouth to get, because Saquon at any point can break a run for anything, and we'll see what happens on that front. And what did I see? Morning Blitz, which I love. Morning Blitz, which I love, said tonight there is going to be and I want to get this right, when the moon is in a waxing gibbous phase, as it is tonight, the Lions, since the NFL-AFL merger, are 0 for 12 on Turkey Day. I did not know that. And they are going for their first division title since 1993. 93, folks. 1993. And their favorite today, Washington Cowboys, are 8-2 all time. And do you know in 1975 and 77, Rozelle let the Thanksgiving Day game go from Dallas to the St. Louis Cardinals? Now, I don't remember those games. I think I started watching. I don't remember. I mean, I watched Thanksgiving games all the time as a kid, but I don't remember St. Louis having the games. That escapes my mind. Maybe Bumbles remembers that, but I don't. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So the Giants, 4 first half touchdowns this season, all versus Washington in their 2 wins. So Washington's 4-7. Imagine if they win those 2 games, they would be 6-5. That's some bad losses. Giants are 5-1 versus Washington since 2020. 17-36 versus the other 31 teams. I mean, that's no good. That's no bueno at all. No, not good at all, folks. Not good at all. And Jalen Hyatt, preseason Offensive Rookie of the Year, well, he's not had a great season. He is, and 3 quarterbacks, kind of hard, 12 catches, 221 yards. I feel bad for him. Hopefully they can get that rectified for next season. Or maybe, hey, you know me, DeVito could play well. They're going to play. Imagine that. Used to be Pats Giants was much watched TV. This year it's 1 o'clock on Sunday and push it aside. And tonight, what do we have? So tonight we have Dallas hosting the Commanders. Tonight we have the Seahawks hosting the Niners. You have the Egg Bowl. The Ole Miss is going for their 10th win of the season. Lane Kiffin did that in 2021. That's a lot of wins for an Ole Miss team. Jackson Dart, I heard he's coming back. Maybe he's not coming back for Ole Miss. That's a game always which ends kind of crazy. And a couple of years ago, the former, wasn't it Moore? He did the, was it Ole Miss? He did the piss thing when he caught the touchdown. He pissed like a dog, and then they had to kick an extra point and lost the game. I remember that. That I remember distinctly. Yeah, the former, you know, the one who screamed at the coaches a couple years ago. Now he's on the Cleveland Browns. Yes. Is it Moore? Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. But it was the wide receiver who they drafted high, 2nd-round draft pick, and then maybe Josh remembers who I'm talking about. Josh, you got to help me out here. Well, here I remember distinctly in the Egg Bowl a couple seasons ago, scored a touchdown and did the piss like a dog, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? That's just dumb. That's just dumb. But Josh must be cooking for the family. Yes, Commander's going to be getting their asses kicked. Aaron's even on YouTube. Look at Aaron making the sides with the familia. I told him I wanted his sister on, but she said, I only talk hockey. I said, that's fine. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I want, all these people, let's all get on. Let's, yeah. It's great. And Daniel Jones had surgery yesterday, 8 to 10 months recovery. Ugh. Yeah, not looking good. And this was from Zach Rosenblatt. Nathaniel Hackett said that Tim Boyle, tenacity when it comes to his preparation. Command of system. What system? Hackett, you don't really have a system. You suck. You really suck. You're not good. Yeah, you're not. Wait, I'm talking about. So Josh, you don't remember the guy who got into the shouting match with who was the offensive coordinator last year, and then they traded him to Cleveland. I got to now. Now I got to look that up because that's going to bother me. Cleveland Browns wide receivers. Let's look that up. Cleveland Brown wide receivers. I see his face. All right, Cleveland Brown. Of course. No, that's not what I want. Cleveland. Can we work, please? I know. I shouldn't be using Showtime to do this, but it's going to bother me. And that's not what I want. All right, maybe did Josh help me out here? I need my producers helping me. No, not Josh Gordon. Aaron says he's got dessert covered, 3 pies and icebox cookies. Wow. Having a turkey head to head. All right. Well, good, dude. I'm all right. I'm all right. Get that turkey going. I don't know what turkey head to head means, but it sounds, we're having prime rib. That's what I wanted. Prime freaking rib. All right. Let me look up Cleveland Browns wide receivers. Depth chart. That's what I want. Yes. Yes. No, not that. That is not what I was. It's amazing how you can't find information. It's amazing when you look up information, you can't find it. Not Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore. Remember Elijah Moore? I knew it was going to come to me. All right. So, but I remember him doing that, and I was like, dude, what are you fucking doing? But so Zach Rosenblatt. But I digress. Tomorrow starts the Tim Boyle hour, first ever Black Friday football game. He says that he has tenacity when it comes to preparation, command of system. And heck, what kind of system are you running here? Nothing good. What system? Something we really love, what? Yeah, something we really love about him. That's what Hackett said. I said to Rosenblatt, what word would you use for Hackett's preparation? He didn't respond. I mean, I felt like that was a really good one. I said something to him. I felt it was something, good and all that, and he didn't. Yeah, thanks, Josh. I gave it to me right now. Okay, so I don't know what icebox cookies are, and we're having a turkey head-to-head. I don't know what a turkey head-to-head means. I kind of want to know what that means now, and I don't know what icebox cookies are. My mother got me a pecan pie from the store. There's a place near us, near the Red Barn Theater. It's called a Red Barn. The Red Barn is a breakfast place. You have to place orders for cakes. So they said I could call this morning, and if there are cakes available that no one picks up, I can come get them. So, I figure I got to get a little fatter. So let me get a couple more cakes. And there's this ice cream I like, not a moo. It is a coconut ice cream, vanilla ice cream. I ate a pint at a time. And they were on sale yesterday, so she got a couple more because, I got to bulk up. It's Thanksgiving. I'm actually a little hungry right now. Yeah. But I thought that was amazing. His preparation, Nathaniel Hackett, who led one of the worst teams ever when he left Denver, and now they're averaging 15 points a game. Oh, and Zach Wilson rejects the scapegoat tag, which means that, it's his fault they lost. Well, 2 straight years, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions isn't getting it done. And we can go by that. 2 touchdowns since week 8, 3rd fewest points per game. Unbelievable. After being benched for Boyle. You're not the scapegoat. You just suck. You just suck. You suck. That's really the thing about it. You suck. Aaron Rodgers on McAfee go, there have been teams 4 and 6 that make the playoffs, yeah. And the meme was like, yeah. But when is he coming back? Because by the time he comes back, they could be 4 and 8. I mean, I don't like him against Miami. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be tomorrow. It's going to be cold. We'll see what happens there. And Joe Douglas, since he took over, they're 24 and 52. They haven't had a season over 500 yet. Why is Saleh being thrown to the bus? Why isn't Douglas? Because Saleh is playing the players that Douglas gave him. And also quarterback, he's really screwed up. And they had no backup plan. They thought that Rodgers was going to stay healthy. And if that Wade was going to be, save him for next year. Yeah, okay, next year. So next year, he'll last 6 plays, Aaron. Maybe 6 plays next year, right? Maybe 7. But there was no backup plan because really this was supposed to be a redshirt year for Wilson. And of course, it didn't end up that way. And yeah, they've never been over 500 over Douglas. I think they're in better shape, the roster, than it was, but I think the offense is regressing, and you really don't have a quarterback of the future because you keep talking about Aaron Rodgers, and against behind this line right now, I don't know if he would be able to he get balls off better, but it's amazing. The 2 leading NFL players in drop balls are David Njoku with the Browns with 7, and Jerome Ford, the running back, with 6, and Madison, the running back for the Vikings, has 5, as does Garrett Wilson. So that's kind of interesting that those 2 guys, Garrett Wilson has a lot of drop balls this season, and 2 straight weeks with a lost fumble, which is not good for them. But, it's still early in the season, right? It's still early. Eagles, did you watch that game? Listen, I know everybody's bashing that changed the trajectory of the game when Travis Kelce fumbled in the red zone. But Mahomes threw a interception in the red zone. what's his name? Marquise Valdez-Scantling at the end, dropped the ball. That you got to make that catch. If you're playing in the NFL, you got to make that catch. But they held him to a career low 4.1 yards an attempt, the Eagles. I wasn't impressed with either team. I thought it was a sloppy. Yeah, the game never had a rhythm to it. And Brady has talked about he feels the game's a lot of mediocrity, coaching not great, quarterback play not great. I agree. There's been a lot of interceptions, a lot of shitty football and I thought between the two best teams in the NFL and what have 29 million viewers, the most since 1996. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't impressed with the level of play for two teams that are supposed to be that good. I thought Mahomes, a lot of drop balls, Well, they have 5 on Monday. They've had 26 in the season. That's a lot of drop balls. Kelsey dropping the ball. Kelsey getting the ball stripped out of his hands. I mean, just everything. And I'm not going to blame that it's Taylor Swift. I just think, it happens. And it happens even to one of the greatest tight ends in the history of the NFL. It happens. I don't think Mahomes looked great. I thought, but I did think, when Hurd had to make some plays, he made some plays. They're 9-1. Every 7th time ever. 6 previous times they made the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl. I mean, this is a team that, I still think they're the favorites, but they have things to work things out. And I don't need to see Nick Sirianni. I don't want to hear that shit anymore, Chiefs fans. He said, I go, dude, you lost the Super Bowl. You want a regular season game in KC. They can scream at you all you want. You want a regular season game in KC. I don't care. Nick Sirianni, I don't want to hear it anymore. You think you're going to hear it, dude? You lost the Super Bowl. You want a regular season game, which doesn't even matter for home field advantage in the NFC because they're in the other division. Yes, great you won a road game. Great you're 9-1. But they still have the ring. They're defending champs. What do you have to say? You still have to beat them. And then again, then there's a road match. I mean, even if you win, they're going to be like, we beat you last year. You beat us once. Okay, we're even, Steven. I mean, yeah, but Sirianni, it's like he's like a little child. I found that a little highly, highly annoying. I was like, shut the fuck up, Nick. Just stop. And Darius Slay said, fuck that shit to fans. Okay, great. Yeah, you lost Super Bowl. Great. You won on the road. Congratulations, guys. Best of luck going forward. Yeah, and I watched Manning cast religiously. Marky Mark seemed like he didn't want to be there. He was terrible. Caitlin Clark, very funny. Very, a huge Chiefs fan since she was a kid. There was pictures of her in a Chief jersey. And I like Vic. I always like Vic. I know Vic with the dog. And I have dogs. I've always had dogs. I love dogs. But I love Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a phenom. Phenom. Watching him was he could do things with the ball with a flick of a wrist. After prison came out, never the same. But he had some good years. He did. He had some good years. And Blake Martinez was on Carolina practice squads. And now I just read he's on Pittsburgh. Matt Canada was fired in his 2+ years with the team. They never had 400 yards in a game. And it was the first time in 81 years since Bert Bell, half owner, fired himself 81 years ago. They hadn't fired a coach in season in 81 years. Talk about stability of a franchise. And they're still 6-4. And I'll tell you, I put back Pickens because I think they're gonna open the ball, open up the offense a little bit more. And I think Pickett and Pickens are going to have a nice game on Sunday. I think they're gonna have a good game on Sunday. I do. That's what I think. John Harbaugh says there's an outside chance Mark Andrews returns from ankle injury. Not the way that ankle. 7 weeks. Listen, ankle to run and everything on that. Yeah, you see Ben Simmons. They're going to reevaluate in 7 to 10 days. Reevaluate. They think he could be on the court in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Bullshit. We'll be lucky if he's back in a month. And they lost yet last night, 147-145. Mikal Bridges had a career high 45. And Trae Young had 43, 19 in the first quarter, 6 threes made. And Bridges 45 career high. And he has never, ever won in Atlanta. I think he's 0-5 now, 0-5, 0-6. I watched Carolina. I fell asleep. They're down 10-2 to Northern Iowa. I woke up and they outscored them by 28 in the second half. They get Nova today with their nemesis at 2:30 in the Bad Mowers Battle for Atlantis. I mean, I can't even say it. I saw that Zach Edey had a double-double yesterday, and Marquette, which upset Kansas in the semifinals, lost to number 2 Purdue in the final. So you had number 4 Marquette, number 1 Kansas, and number 2 Purdue, all in the same. And I saw Michigan had 18 turnovers. They lost 71-67 to Memphis with Lil Penny. Those are the best commercials. Lil Penny commercials are the best. I used to watch those. I still laugh at them. Vic was awesome. Awesome, Josh. Awesome. Totally agree with you. Yeah, Lions today are going to wear, what are they wearing today? They're wearing, classic. So they're wearing the silver helmet, blue jersey, gray pants, blue socks. Texans, Devin Singletary, 262 yards is the most in the NFL last 2 weeks for the Texans. Bucks, Jamal Dean, ankle injury. They thought it was worse, so he's only week to week. The cornerback's going to be out. McDermott, no one to blame. Hey, he always threw everybody under the bus. They hadn't scored 30 points since week 4 until they scored it this past week against the Jets. So he threw Dorsey under the bus. When the Bills are tied or leading, there's Michigan. When the Bills are tied or leading by 1 score in the 4th, their defense drops to 28th in EPA, which is expected point total, measures difference before and after a snap per True Media. So the defense, which he is the defensive coordinator after Leslie Frazier, just basically walked away last season, defensive coordinator. McDermott's taken over. Even when they lost that playoff game to the Chiefs, he blamed the special teams. He's always blaming somebody. Well, there's no one else to blame. And I think he might be losing that locker room. I think he's pissing people off. Brian Dable didn't like that. He wanted more balance of the offense. And at the end, if you got a guy who can throw like he can throw, Josh Allen, let him throw. Now, I know he has interceptions and stuff, but that guy, that's an offense, a high-power offense. You don't have to, and you got a lot of weapons you got Kincaid, you got Davis, you have Diggs. I mean, and that the guy who blew past Sauce last week. You have guys all over the place getting it done. And I don't agree with McDermott. I think McDermott's on very, very thin ice. Shaq Leonard, 3-time All-Pro, who's dropped off significantly this season. He got released by the Colts. The Cowboys and Eagles are interested. And the 12 men on the field in the loss to the Monday night game, they lost to the Broncos. He blamed on special teamer Matt Smiley. Yet his D was the one who had to be subbed out, and that's why all the stuff happened. That was his D, but he blamed special teams. I mean, come on, dude. You got to take some of the blame on that front. And since week 4, they're 15th in points scored in first half, led the NFL with 8 first half turnovers of the Bills, only 3 teams more, 3 and outs in the first half this season. So a lot of problems right there, man. A lot of problems. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, Leslie Frazier, we still don't know why he left. He said he was taking time off, but was he kicked out? Was McDermott told, hey, you know what? Things aren't working. It's on you now? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so this is the Steelers' first in-season coaching change since 1941 when half-owner Bert Bell fired himself. How about KC in the second half against the Eagles? 2 punts, a fumble, 2 punts, turnover on downs. So punt, fumble, punt, turnover. Last year in the Super Bowl, 3 touchdowns and a field goal against the Chiefs. So the Eagles have held the Dolphins to 17 points, season low, 244 yards, and Mahomes 4.1 yards per attempt, fewest in his career. Thank you, Paul Hembekitis, who said Jonathan Gannon era, post-Jonathan Gannon era, going very well, which I don't disagree. D is playing, but then there was a play, 4th and 25, and Justin Watson was wide fucking open. They're playing a prevent to the point where he was like wide open, and you're like, what are you guys doing here? He basically caught the ball and they did knock it out of his hands. I was like, what are you doing at the end of the game? I saw that play. I was like, dude, Eagles, what are you doing? That was atrocious. Atrocious. So I was like, God, that was not good. And what did I say? Broncos vet was suspended 4 games. And he basically said he doesn't want to play the game anymore because the way he tackles was, but he kind of leaps at players. So I was trying to, I have to get a better system here. I have to get a better system. But he got, was it Kareem Jackson? Yes. I think it's Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson. Let me see. Yeah, he's been suspended 4 games. 4 games. Yeah, he says he doesn't know how to play the game anymore. Things don't. I mean, 13-year vet. They said he's great in the locker room, whatever. But you're saying you don't know how to work through these things. You don't know how to tackle. But it is. I feel like a lot of the receivers, they catch the ball, the head goes down, and it leads to helmet, and bad things happen that way. I just feel like bad things happen that way. Yeah. Ugly, to say the least. Yeah. Ugh. Just bad, dude. Just bad. And, Chipotle was changing its name to Chipotle, which it's Chipotle, whatever, Chipotle. Well, in a 2011 tweet, Kelsey spelled it Chipotle, which the way Chipotle. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce that right. But Chipolt in one of their franchises in Kansas City for Travis Kelce. Yeah. Yeah, one of those. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. And Terry McLaurin, full calendar year, has not topped 90 yards receiving. Dotson, they said it's down 2 for Washington. But I looked up McLaurin's stats. Last year he had 56, 77 for 1191, 5 touchdowns, almost 15 and a half. And this season he is 56, 644. Yeah, I mean, numbers are down after 10 games. I mean, they're not great numbers. 60, so 17 games. Yeah, I mean, he's down. And Dotson last year at 35 for 523, 7 touchdowns. He already has 37, but his yardage is way down. 383. He was averaging almost 15 a catch this year. He's 10 and 4 touchdowns. Sam Howell, he's played a lot better, so we'll see what happens going forward. And, time will tell on that front. Yes, time will tell on that front. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's a big game today. National television, only game on at 4:30. I mean, all the games are only the games on today. And Luke Musgrave got I think I saw a lacerated kidney after that shot he took. And I thought that was against Kareem Jackson too. I remember that was ugly. And Chris Trapasso said TD record through 6 seasons. Mahomes, 2.55 touchdowns per start. Josh Allen, 2.36. Yeah, I take him. I know we're talking, people say overrated. I'll take that overrated. Guy can ball. And bye Barry and Amazon. He said, trust the voice, Barry Sanders, within, regardless of what other people want from you. I haven't watched it yet, but I got to watch that. I love Barry Sanders. And just retired. Never came back. Was done. Never came back. Deshaun Watson had successful surgery yesterday. Steelers' next 5 opponents. They play the Bengals twice. New England, Arizona Colts. None over 500. I mean, they got a shot to go on a run. A guy from Baltimore said that 7-3 Cleveland with Dorian Thompson, I always get his name confused, that, there's a chance that Joe Flacco could start a playoff game. Cleveland has a rookie quarterback who isn't playing great. Joe Flacco could be playing a playoff game for a team with a very good defense. That'd be kind of crazy, right? Joe Flacco, playoff game. I mean, it could happen, right? Yeah, Kenny Pickett, 6 touchdowns, 2 since the beginning of October. The offense is 28th in yards and in points. They had to save the locker room. Unbelievable. Yeah, and John Stevens, again, 0 games with 400 yards in almost 3 seasons with Matt Canada as their offensive coordinator. Eagles gave up 5 sacks in the first half, 0 second half. I mean, hey, but a lot of pressure on their quarterback, but they got things cleaned up. Oh, and there's a video of Kelsey, Michigan sent me. Jason Kelsey's daughter with imitating her dad, like running down the line. It was hilarious. The mother's like laughing her ass off. Very funny. So the highest average ticket price for sibling rivalry, Super Bowl 57, $52.79 a ticket. Broncos Giants Manning Bowl in 2013 was for $311 a ticket, according to Vivid Seats, and Monday Night Football $462 a ticket. Now we talked about Bosa. Yeah, Dorian Thompson Robinson. Thank you, Josh. Always get his name confused. Joey Bosa on the IR, 9 games, 5 starts, 6.5 sacks, 20 tackles, 8 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. Only 5 games last year. Foot sprain. Jason, I mean, it could be the beginning of the end for him. He could be somewhere else next year. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. And Jim Irsay, his dad did give him the team. And this was crazy. Drew Brees can throw only left-handed now. Major shoulder surgery. 2005 when he was with the Chiefs, he went for a fumble and got his shoulder destroyed. Right arm doesn't work. He said he could play pickleball because below the waist, but anything above the shoulder, he has a very hard time. He had surgery by Dr. James Andrews in 2006. It put him on the fast track to degenerative shoulder and arthritic condition throughout that shoulder. 12 anchors Andrews put into time. Most he ever did up to that point. Complete 360 tear of brevis labrum, partial tear of rotator cuff. Dolphins at the time said there was long-term prognosis was not good, but Andrews helped prolong his career. So after that injury, basically playing with a throwing shoulder on borrowed time, 15 years, 68,010 yards, 190 touchdowns. No, that can't be right. He had more than that. Yeah, he did not. No, he had 571 for his career. Second to Tom Brady, over 80,000 yards. Yeah, I wrote that number down wrong because that would be 15 years. No. He had. No, that was. Come on, dude. You're better than that, JD. Yeah, he did better than that. He did better than that. I'm looking at those numbers right now. I'm like, come on, that is not. Drew Brees stats. All right, let's delve quicker. Thrown for 300 yards in a league record, 120 games, including a league best 16 contests over 400, 19-year career, 68% of his passes. It says here 77,000, 547 touchdown passes, and this is why is this giving me weird stats? That is not okay. Let's look. Okay. Yeah. 571 touchdown passes, 243 interceptions. Yeah, let's look at the real. This is the real one. Okay. His career with New Orleans. Okay. 15 years, 68,010 yards, 491 touchdowns. 491 touchdowns. Unbelievable. Unbelievable career. 190 interceptions, you idiot. Not touchdowns. So I had the right number there. I just had it messed up a little bit. JD, we're not perfect. We're not perfect at all. Yes, we make mistakes. I'm okay with that. How about quarterbacks out this season? Burrow, $275 million contract. Watson, $230. Daniel Jones, $160. Kirk Cousins, $84 million. Aaron Rodgers, $75. Anthony Richardson, $33. They say contracts over $1 billion. Well, that's only $852 million. But you can see what it is. The guys are out right now. And who was I seeing? Oh, and Cleveland. The rest. Look at Cleveland's schedule the rest of the way. They host the Broncos this week. Then at Rams. Host Jags. Host Bears. At Texans. Host Jets. At Cincy. Right now, they got a shot to win at least 10. They got 7 left. I could see them going 4-3 the rest of the way because since he's got the backup quarterback, Jets. If he comes back, I don't think he's coming back. Texans that's stuck with Bears. Rams are going down, and Broncos. I know Broncos won 4 in a row, but Broncos are not that good. Minnesota, that was not a pretty game also. And right now, projected top 7 in the AFC are KC, Baltimore, Jags, Miami, Cleveland, Houston, Steelers. Even though the Bills are half a game out, they're projected not to make the playoffs. Chiefs are 96% to win the division. Miami, 84%. In the NFC, you got Philly, Detroit, San Francisco, New Orleans, Dallas, Minnesota, and Seattle, which just flip places. Eagles, Lions, and Niners, 93% to win the division. But Bills, I'll tell you, they don't make the playoffs. He's done. McDermott's done. I think there's a lot of guys done, but I think McDermott's on the way out. And RG3 was the first Washington quarterback to beat Dallas back in 2012. Turkey Day, 38-20. He had 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. They were 28-3 at the half. RG3, that first year, he was, I still remember that first game against the Saints. I was like, this guy can ball. So Dallas is 32, 22-1 on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah, talked about that. Kirk Ferentz, love them. They're playing Nebraska. They're not favored against Nebraska. I think the over-under is like 26 points. So they picked Iowa to win. They're 9-2, and they're going to play in the Big Ten championship game with no offense. 18 points a game. Kirk Ferentz blames TV analysts for coach and player killers. Modern era, he said. So much negativity. So that's what the analyst got your son fired, not because you can't score any points. Like your son should keep his job because yes, you're 9-2 and that's fantastic and all, but you're winning. I mean, I guess it is winning. You've always had great defenses, but imagine you had an offense. And I know Cade McNamara went down, got injured, whatever, and you've been playing different quarterbacks, and the gene is gone now, but still. And Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. played high school ball together too. And Ari Wasserman talked about how Ryan Day and Harbaugh, like no love between them. Well, Woody visited Bo Schembechler in the hospital after he had a heart attack, and Bo gave a eulogy at Woody Hayes' funeral. I mean, they don't do that shit anymore. Those are the old days, not the new days, not the days of the days. But I thought that was kind of interesting. The game, I think Milton's coming on tomorrow to talk Michigan football, which I'm hoping we'll do tomorrow morning. And Josh Abo said Stanford 0-6 going to Saturday's finale versus Notre Dame. The last FBS team to go 0-7 at home was Kansas in 2015. So I guess we got the second one. Matt Baker, who's running a turkey trot today in Tampa, he asked college football chairman about FSU performance after Jordan Travis injury because Washington jumped Florida State from now they're 4, Florida State's 5, and they got the backup quarterback in Tate Rodmaker, and basically he said, let's see what they do against the Gators this week, and then they should be favored against Louisville. But Jordan Travis is done for the season, which I don't think they're still undefeated, but I guess we're going to see. Also, I feel that they're going to have a easier game than Washington will have against Oregon. I feel Oregon's playing better. They really even played their biggest win this season was against Utah, which, got blown out. They got blown up by Arizona, which is playing better football. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Let's let the season play out. But Max Brown's going in. Graham Mertz broke his collarbone. I mean, Florida was 5-6, but Mertz 29-03, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 72% completion. I thought Mertz really improved himself. They don't know if he's coming back. I think he's going to come back. He's not NFL ready. Come back. NIL money. Florida should be better. Napier, I don't know though, man. I mean, they have not played. I mean, he came in, all this money given, resources and everything with such a success with the Raging Cajuns has not gone well with the Gators. So Max Brown's going to start against Tate Rodmaker. So I know Sam is going to be excited about that game. And Kyle Rowland said that Tennessee's number 25, 7-4 ranked. All 4 losses, double digits. Last 2 weeks, they lost 36-7 at Missouri and 38-10 to Georgia. But I mean, you get outscored by 57 the last 2 weeks, you shouldn't be top 25. Yeah, there's a lot of crappy teams out there. There's a lot more crappy teams than there are good teams. I mean, I like to see Tulane. Now, Tulane's got a tough game against Texas San Antonio, and then they have to get by SMU, which is going to beat Navy, I feel, to get even to a New Year's Six Bowl. And I think, I think the Tulane team last year was far superior than this year. But, I mean, they're still, 10 wins on the season. I mean, that's a hell of a season for Tulane. There's some good teams out there that should get shots. I'd like to see James Madison get in a bowl game, play somebody. Want to see what Liberty can do. Liberty's undefeated. They're going to play New Mexico State in the Conference USA Championship game. I mean, there's a lot of small schools out there like Toledo, 10-1. I'd like to see some of the smaller schools get a shot against a Tennessee, against somebody that's in a bigger conference and show what they can do. Because I feel like the bigger conferences, there's a lot more mediocre teams than good teams out there. This season, I mean, this is the season Texas can take. If you had a 12-team playoff this year, I mean, I think Georgia's the best team, but I think Georgia could get knocked. And I think teams have a chance this year. I don't think you're going to see what you saw with TCU last year. I think there's a lot of parity this year, a lot more teams. I just don't know how good Georgia is. I feel like they've answered every bell this season. Brock Bowers is back. Beck has been a good quarterback for them. And, Bama, I think, has played better. I just don't know if Bama is as good as Georgia. We're going to see next week. You just don't know. And people are saying it could be a defensive game between Michigan and Ohio State. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're going to see. Time will tell on that front. You just want to see good football. The game on Saturday. Crazy. I mean, we're going to see. And Texas is playing Texas Tech on Friday. That's for a shot at Miami. Miami's playing BC. I think I missed that game I think I was out and I missed the Flutie game as a kid. I remember my uncle and my cousin watched it together, and they were like, they watched every down. And I remember, I think I caught parts of it, but that game was magical, man. That's what Thanksgiving weekend is always about. I remember as a kid, I remember the Lions were playing the Bears, and I think the Bears returned in the overtime kickoff for a touchdown. And I was just watching a whole thing about John. I mean, there's nobody like John Madden. John Madden was the best of the best. Him and Summerall were the best of the best. Nobody even can touch them now. I mean, it's just different. I mean, Madden was like so passionate about it. Like he oozed football. And there's not too many guys like do that anymore. I miss that stuff. But it's my favorite holiday. It's food and it's football. My mom's like, all right, you're going to watch, what time's football on tomorrow? I go, it's 12:30 till 11 o'clock at night. She's like, hey. I'm like, well, I'll watch on my iPad. You can watch it somewhere else. It's all right. And the Joe Moore Award given to the best offensive line in college football has a partnership with Don Joy knee braces, synonymous with offensive lineman. I thought that was kind of, hey, all right. Michigan cornerback Mike Sanderstill, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week after his 2 interceptions in their win over Maryland. Dion thought Mount Rushmore was in L.A. You know what? We all have geography problems. We all make mistakes. You know, that happens. Yeah, I mean, Mount Rushmore. Well, I'll tell you, there was a guy I went to grad school with who thought the Magic Kingdom was in D.C. And we told him that. We said, oh, yeah, that's Magic Kingdom. You should go. He goes, yeah, I need to go there. And it was the Mormon Tabernacle Church. So we kept him all year going that was, I still remember that kid. He played golf on the team. I think he flunked out, but he was there for like a semester. That kid was crazy. Kid was nuts. Yeah, we had him going. We said, so he told his frat that they needed to take a trip to Magic Kingdom. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He goes, no, Magic Kingdom. Dude, that's the Mormon Tabernacle Church here. He was like, oh, yeah. He tried to get the frat to take a field trip there. That was hilarious. And I don't know, Chet Holmgren, that Amish boy, that's a look. So he said about Katie shooting 54 from 3, 54 from tray ball is Odie shooting hang pulls. What? So Odie it means extreme, very too much, insane, hang pulls or jumpers. Thank you, Haboob blog, for that one, because I was like, I don't know what the hell that was. Yeah, so Mikal Bridges, Brooklyn Bridges are now 0-6 in Atlanta after that loss. LeBron is going to be 39 in December 30th, actually. He's older than Will Hardy, who will be 36 in January. He goes, I'm older than who? Yeah. He had 39,000 points in their win over Utah. They lost last night. They're 9-7. Mavs won 104-101. And Doncic did a nutmeg where he threw the ball between LeBron's legs to one of his teammates for a 3. Through his legs, through LeBron. Yeah, he said, I'm older than the coach of the Jazz. Yes, you are. Embiid, the 3rd player in Sixers history to start a season with 14 straight 20-point games. But he missed yesterday because of left hip soreness. And they lost to the Wolves, who are 10-1. 11-1 their last, 10-1 their last 12? 10-1 their last 11. But Embiid joins AI, who did it in 2005-2006 season. Also 2006-2007, 14 straight 20-point games. And Billy Cunningham, was that UNC grad, 1969-1970 for the Sixers. Thank you, Justin Kabako, for that. They lost in overtime yesterday to the Cavs. And Jaden McDaniels is going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, reevaluated for an ankle sprain, averaging 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. A lot of guys getting injured, man. A lot of guys. Jordan Poole, NBA exec, says they're stuck with him. Now, he's averaging 17 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, but 40% from the field, 28 from 3, and almost 3 turnovers a game. You're stuck with him. You're stuck with him. So Ben Simmons missed his 7th game in a row yesterday. Cam Thomas is 6th, but they think he'll be back to practice next week, so back in the next couple weeks. He's averaging almost 27 a game, which would be top 10 if he qualified, but he's missed too many games. And Sotheby's auctioned off Wembanyama's game-worn jersey from his NBA debut, expected to get between $80,000 and $120,000. No, sold for $762,000. Highest price ever for a rookie jersey. Thank you, Tommy Beers. But who gets the money, someone said? Shouldn't it go to Wemby, I thought? It was listed as an NBA auction. If it's his jersey, a game-worn jersey, does the NBA own it or does Wemby own it? Who owns the jersey? That's what I wanted to know. So it's amazing the money this goes for. $80,000 to $120,000, and it sold for $762,000. That's a lot of shekels, man. Yeah, Trae Young is already second all time in three-pointers made in Hawks history. He's 140, but well, after last night, he's even closer. But going to last night's game, he's 140 behind Mookie Blaylock, 911 made. Yeah. And players of the week this past week, De'Aaron Fox led the Kings to a 4-0 record, 32 points, 6 assists. Unbelievable. 2 steals a game. And Brunson, they went 3-1 the Knicks, 29, 7 assists, 54 from three-point range. And they said his three-point is even better. You know, this is a guy who knows he's going to break the bank. He's going to opt out of his contract, and he's going to break the bank. And good for him, man. He's gone over and above. And Kobe White retired my mom, bought her a house with his first NBA check. But Jalen Brunson he's like, you know what? I haven't reached my window. The ceiling is still, I can keep going higher. And the Heat, 9th starting lineup in 15 games this season. They beat Cleveland yesterday. They're 10-5. They hadn't led 2 games back-to-back since 2019. That's what happened. 2 straight games led, never trailed. That happened since 2019. Lakers lost last night, 104-101 to the Mavs. They're 4-7 versus teams that are 500, above 500 this season. And Christian Wood in his Dallas revenge game, comeback game, 1 point, an assist, 0 for 1 from field goals, 1 for 2 from free throws, minus 15 when he was on the court. Yeah, not good. Lakers now 6-2 the last 8. LeBron at 26. AD at 10 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Doncic 30 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. And Kyrie 26. Wait, did I see 20? Yeah, 26? 28. And Kyrie, they said when he catches the ball, he doesn't have to, he catches in the way, listen, I'm not a fan of him as a person, but the guy's a phenomenal basketball player. Just makes it, some people make it look effortless. Kyrie makes the game look effortless. He is a phenomenal athlete. I'll give him that. The guy can play basketball. I mean, just phenomenal. Yeah, the Nets had the highest point total of the season last night. They had 3 players have double-doubles. Claxton had 22-11 rebounds. Dinwiddie had 26, 12 assists. And Bridges had 45 points, 10 rebounds. Trae Young, as I said, had 43. Yeah, I mean, crazy. Highest single-game point total since March 2022. The Hawks are 7-7. Nets are 6-8. The Sixers lost yesterday, 112-99. No Embiid. Anthony Edwards, 31. Cat at 23-11. They're 11-3, 10-1 their last 11. 3 straight with 10-1. They're 11-3. And A-Rod bought the team, but he needs more money to finalize the sale, which I didn't think he had that kind of money. And how about Popovich? They were booing Kawhi when he was shooting free throws. Got on the mic and said to the fans, "That's not who we are." They lost 1-1. But imagine that saying, Popovich is like, "Yeah, that's not who we are. That's not how we play. No. That's not how we are, guys. That's not a classy move." So they lost 109-102. Kawhi had 26. Wemby had 22 points for 3. But I was like, Popovich, all right, dude. Respect. And how about Jason Kidd? Won a title with Dallas at 38. Played till 40. LeBron is, a month shy of 39. And he was a Laker assistant when they won in that, the bubble in 2020. He's been... And what I missed this. Okay, so Celtics beat the Bucks 119-116. They're 12-3. Bucks 10-5. Giannis at 21 for 7 for 20. And Tatum just double-double. Lillard had... post-game, Pop said, "Don't poke the bear." I didn't see him say that. Are you making a joke? Don't poke the bear? Listen, they're not a good team this year. I don't think... Did he really say poke the bear? Because, I don't know. Oh, yeah, don't poke the bear with Kawhi, right, yeah. Kawhi light it up. Yeah, Kawhi's that quiet guy who, you piss him off, yeah, he'll light it up. I mean, listen, Toronto... He had one of the greatest postseasons ever when Toronto won the championship. He was phenomenal. He had a phenomenal that game-winning shot against the Sixers. Kawhi, when he plays, that's another guy. I mean, I know he's been injured the last couple of years, but that guy can play basketball. There's certain guys that just are magical. He's a magical player. You watch him play, you're like, holy shit. Like, he's at a different level. There's guys at different levels. I mean, they're very good NBA players, but there's players like who are the top of the top, and he's one of the top. I mean, very impressive. Ozzie Fudd, she's done for the year. She blew out her right knee ACL medial meniscal Tuesday in practice. I talked about this, and she said she felt something. Her and Paige Beckers have only played 17 games in 3 seasons. Beckers missed all last season. And then this year, she only played 2 games. Yeah, 2 games this year. She averaged 15 points last year, 11 this year. She's a hell of a player. She just can't stay healthy. 2019, she had a knee injury. Surgery later. It's just not good. And Cormac Ryan, he had a block yesterday against Northern Iowa. That guy can. I'll tell you, UNC. I like some of the transfers they got in. I think they're going to be all right this year. How about LIU was playing at Columbia? They left at 4 on their team bus. They weren't even at the game yet at 7. The game was scheduled for 7. It was tentative start was 7:32. They lost 77-67. LIU's 0-4. Columbia 4-2. I thought that was interesting. I thought, wow. Can you imagine that, taking a bus from LIU to go play it at a Columbia, and you're stuck on the bus? Well, it's Thanksgiving, but still, I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of time missed, man. That's a long, long, long bus ride. Yeah, I like that Shaka Smart led Marquette over Kansas. Hunter Dickinson had his season low. Michigan lost to Memphis. I talked about that. How about Juju Watkins? Third, she's 5-0 USC. She's had 3 30-point games. The freshman phenom, they won 71-70 over Penn State yesterday in the Bahamas, Bahamar tourney. Juju Watkins can ball. There were 14 games last night. Devils lost 4-0 to the Red Wings. Rangers won, and the Islanders beat the Flyers into their 5-game winning streak. And Cale Clutterbuck got his 1000th game with the Isles, and his kids made a homemade side. 4 kids. He's got 4 kids. Vegas beat the Stars 2-1 in overtime. Vegas is 14-4-2 this season. Jonathan Quick, I talked about. He's the second Ranger goalie to begin his tenure by earning points in his first 6 decisions, joining Eddie Mio in 81-82, who went 5-0-2 in his first 7 games played. Nice going. And Lafreniere's playing great. And Brad Ausmus is the bench coach. How did anything good to say? 18-year MLB career, 3 years with the Tigers. They were shit. 1 year with the Angels. Another bench coach. Jonathan Gibbons, who had 2 stints with the Blue Jays, reportedly is going to be the bench coach for the Mets. Well, he's more of like a hard ass, so I guess that's okay. And who sent me yesterday? I think Bumbles. Wally Backman talking to his minor league team. They were playing a championship series, and nobody took batting practice. And he's like, you guys are playing like you're already there. I mean, just ripping into him. And I thought Backman should have been given a shot. But there was something I remember, allegedly, he had domestic violence with his wife. I mean, he's lived hard. He looks like he's lived a hard life. But sometimes you need that guy that's going to yell at the players. I'm okay with that. And I talked about Aaron Nola got 7 years, $172 million, and a trade from the Mariners to Arizona. Eugenio Suarez. Since 2017, only guys with more home runs. Since 2018, only players with more home runs than him are Matt Olson, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, and Pete Alonso. This past year for Seattle, 232 batting average, 22 home runs, 96 RBIs, 139 hits, but led the AL with 214 strikeouts. Thank you, Codify. $11 million next season, and then a $15 million club option. He's going to fill the third base vacancy because Longoria is a free agent, and he didn't really play a lot, but he played all the postseason games. And they traded him for right-handed pitcher Carlos Vargas and Sebi Zavala, a catcher with a .210 career hitter. But Suarez, a couple of years ago, really hit a lot of home runs. I mean, maybe in some power hitting, you always need guys that can hit dingers, right? You need guys who can hit the dinger, hit the ball out. And Arizona, that was a season, man. That was a season. And Willie Hernandez, you remember him? Cy Young and AL MVP in '84 when they won. Remember that 35-5 start? Won the World Series. He got the final out of the World Series. 13 years in the majors. He had a 9-3 record that year in '84, 1.92 ERA, 0.94 WHIP in 80 games. Cy Young and MVP that season. 3 straight All-Star appearances, 84-86. Finished his career with the Tigers, 70 wins, 147 saves. Died Tuesday at 69. But I remember that 84 team. I still remember they game of the week Saturday, Joe Garagiola and Jack Morris pitching a no-hitter early in the season. And I had a baseball game on my computer, and I always played as the Tigers. Remember they beat the Padres with Kerpavakwa? Remember that? Remember the Cubs team that year? They lost. They won the first two, lost the last three in San Diego in the playoffs with Steve Garvey, with Forms, Mr. Forms. Remember that. How about this? Yoshinobu Yamamoto wants to play on teams with Japanese players. Well, it's either the Mets, the Padres, Toronto Twins, Cubs, or Red Sox. We'll see how that goes. And Padres hire Mike Schilt as manager. That's what Jason told me was going to happen. And Joe D during his 56-game hitting streak hit 408. And during that time, Ted Williams hit 412. 412. He had a better batting average during DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Ted Williams had a better batting average than the 56-game hitting streak guy, Joe D. And I got that from Mooch. Thank you. Yesterday was Billie Jean King's birthday. Pay equality. That was all. Pay equality. Thank you for that. How about this? Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, who starred in Karate Kid movies years apart. Well, he did the remake with Jaden Smith, which was terrible. I'm sorry, that was not. But now they are reportedly going to be a brand new movie set in the martial arts franchise. God bless him. God bless him. Ralph Macchio is just, he got Cobra Kai, and now he's going to make another movie with Jackie Chan. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Ralph Macchio living the dream. And his body has actually, I think he was in better, he had more muscle tone then than now. I mean, God bless him. I do love Cobra Kai. I mean, it's a little over the top now, but I'm nostalgia. I'm nostalgia boy, and that is awesome. And Adele and Rich Paul are married, I guess. How about Argentina and Brazil fans? 26 minutes fighting. The match got delayed for 26, 27 minutes. Argentina won 1-0. I was like... And then there was a kid yesterday. Oh, who was it? A kid for... Was it Cal? They were playing a basketball game yesterday, and they were calling him a terrorist. This basketball player from Cal, he went in the stands. And he called me... Dude, you can't go in the stands. But he went in the stands and he got into an altercation with a fan after the game. And Madsen, who played at Stanford but is now the coach at Cal, was like, he's like, yeah, well, we can't do stuff like that. I'm like, no, you can't. Cal player, terrorist. Yes. There it is. Allegedly called terrorist. Well, if it was allegedly, I don't know why he went in the stands, dude. He was pissed. He was like, yeah, I'm not taking this shit. And it's not letting me open that one. Yes, Cal Legends fan. It was the SoCal Challenge against UTEP Monday. His name is, I want to get his, what's this kid's name? Fardaz Imac. Allegedly calling him a terrorist. And they had video of it. Yeah, he got right in his face. Went to the stands, and it's a small place. Yeah. Video shared on here. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, the video is kind of... Yeah, check this out. Yeah, look. So some guy said, grow up, that's why you lose. And I was like, really? Really? That's what you got from it? Grow up, that's why you lose? Because you went in the stands? I mean, dude, listen, that's nasty. That's nasty. Yeah, that ain't good. Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that shit. I'd be pissed. I didn't like it at all. All right, so I want to talk about that. Did I have anything else Yeah, you know what? I hadn't talked in a while, and I got sick again, and it happens. Michigan's in Aruba. I'm here. You know, that's her trip every year. So I'm spending it with mom. And I went to a podcast early today before everything starts. And I told everybody, if you have a kid, you should take him or your children to see the parade. I was in the parade one year. I love the parade. I love the parade. It's always a blast. Parade is awesome. It is, yeah, it's magical. It's just a great holiday. It's a great holiday spent with family. Yeah, that's what so, and of course, I'm trying to find how do I start this podcast? Turkey Day. All right, there it is. Okay. So, well, that's good. I just realized none of my stuff went through. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. All right, did I miss anything? Yeah, October, they said, was the month for Nielsen's. Sports accounted for 30% of all broadcast viewing, up from 25% last year. Fox broadcast up 9%. Yeah, that makes sense. And Kevin Hart's going to get his own, like, Manning. It might not be Manningcast, but he's going to do one for basketball games with guests and stuff. But they don't know if it's going to be. It's going to be based on the Manningcast, but we're not sure if it's going to be. It's going to be. We'll broadcast simultaneously with the Sirius airing on the main ESPN network. Okay. Cool. Oh, and Kyler Murray was out for a while too this year. Oh, Matt Stafford and Kyler Murray. It was 852, yes. With guys injured this year, over $1 billion. Yeah, I talked about Brady said a lot of mediocrity. Scoring has declined fourth consecutive year. I agree. Teams are combined to score just 43 points per game, down from 43.8 last year and almost 46 in 2021. Lowest scoring season on average in 2009. A lot of injuries. He says, I look at a lot of players like Ray Lewis and Rodney Harrison and Ronnie Lott and guys that impacted the game, and every hit they would have made would have been a penalty. You hear coaches complaining about their own player being tackled and not necessarily why don't they talk to their players about how to protect themselves. We used to work at the fundamentals of the thing all the time. Now they're trying to be regular. I agree. I feel like you can't tackle anymore, and the guys are putting their heads down. I just think ridiculous. Yeah, Chiefs haven't scored after halftime in 3 straight games. Andy Reid had never lost, been 4-0 against his former teams, lost to the Eagles. Yes. Yeah, 2 red zone turnovers in a game. Josh Jabot said, first time since 2021, also in 2015, both games at Arrowhead. Good for them, yes. Rematch of the game. Giants currently have the 5th pick in the draft. They're converting 22%, the Jets, 23% of the third downs, 0 for 11 against the Bills. If this continues, it will be the lowest such rate in more than 50 years, and there have been a lot of bad football over the last 50 years. And do I dare tell you what team it led to that statistic in 2022, which the worst third down conversion last 50 years? That would be the Broncos in 2022 under Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett. You suck. You suck. Yeah, they said that the line is not good right now. And even with Aaron Rodgers, if he was healthy, he'd be in trouble. Andy Wilson was awful. But Douglas has to take some of the blame here. And this is awesome. This is great. So the best passer ratings in Week 11, Thomas Morstead was in the group for the Jets. The punter was just below Trevor Lawrence, 118.8. That's how you get a Jet in the positive statistics. And they said Boyle would be decisive and get rid of the ball quickly, something that Wilson didn't do. Al Lazard is the worst drop rate, 21% of any wide receiver with 25 targets. Randall Cobb has been in healthy scratch for a week. And Xavier Gibson and Jason Brownlee haven't had much of an impact. Garrett Wilson, 2 fumbles lost and 2 catches for 9 yards. Becton, they're hoping he can play. If not, they'll be deploying their 8th starting offensive group in 11 weeks. Yeah, which is not good. And you add Chris Glazer at right guard, Carter Warren against the Bills. Neither had played significant NFL snaps. That would not be good for Rodgers. Yeah. Just terrible. He had to make a change. And Tanzel Smart, I loved him on Hard Knocks. He's been released, brought to the line, released, so he got released again, which really sucks. And Timbo, number 34, 34th starting quarterback since Rich Samini started covering the team. And Garrett Wilson brought up an interesting point, saying he's pressing to make plays anytime he actually gets the ball, and that is not a good thing when you're pressing to get balls. Yeah. And, that always leads to big things. Yeah, and why did Joe Brady tweet, want to know, why did it annoy me? You need a pat on the back that you want to know as the OC? Youth today, man. That's the youth today. That is the youth today. Oh, and the Dolphins might give a minority stake up of their stake of the team, Stephen Ross, to Ken Griffith, a billionaire, worth $35 billion. Good for him. If you can do it, dude, more power to you. Zach Martin has not been a good, they're saying this season as last season. Keon Coleman, viewed as a top 10 pick from Florida State. 12 contested touchdown catches over the past 2 years. Yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr., LSU's Malik Neighbors, Washington's Rome Odunze, he's been great, and Ohio State's Emeka Egbuka. I mean, Marvin Harrison is a special player. Very special player. Well, I guess we're going to see. Oh, and former Colorado running back Alex Fontenot has filed a class action lawsuit against the NCAA and Power 5 leagues over the money model. Federal courts records show it hits on everything from conference realignment and TV money to Jimbo's buyout. If that type of money can go to a fired coach, then surely the players on the team can be fairly compensated. He's got a point there. He's got a very big point there. And for the third year in a row, Blake Corum used his NIL money to deliver 600 turkeys to Ypsilanti. I butchered that. Michigan called me on that one, so I butchered it. UNC's lost the last two to NC State. But in the last 4 meetings with NC State, Carolina has 921 rushing yards. State is 338. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Supposedly Syracuse wants a guy that coached in the Power 5, so I guess or at least coordinator in the Power 5. So that leaves out Jason Cano from Toledo, Will Fritz from Tulane. I mean, I guess we're going to see what's going to happen. And Dino Babers was fired. David Hill, joint brought up a point where he said, so essentially Dino was fired for getting Syracuse in the top third and the bottom rung of Power 5. Is that reasonable? Maybe, but point is really hard to win at these schools, and coaches who do aren't likely to stay. 2 bowl games in 8 years. 6-6 gets you in a bowl game, and that's 2 in 8 years. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, I don't agree. Yeah, 41-55, 5-6, 1-6 in conference play this year. Those are Georgia Tech. They face Wake Forest to get into a bowl game. So Nunzio Campanelli will coach against Wake Forest, and we'll see who they get. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Big A. You got Arizona State. You got Oregon State. You have Washington, the Apple Cup, the Civil War used to be called, and Arizona versus Arizona State. And Cam Rising's returning. He is 24 years old. He was in the recruiting class in 2018 with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson. And Louisiana Tech fired the defensive coordinator. They did give up 522 points, a Conference USA record to Jacksonville State. So he's out Scott Power. He's done. Yeah, I would think that would be enough to get you gone. So Celtics have won 7, Sacramento 6, Thunder 5, Phoenix 4, Cleveland 4. Magic beat the Nuggets last night. All right. And so the Nets, 7 losses have been to teams who are over 500 to date. Well, they did lose to a team that was under 500. Combined 65 and 707 winning percentage. 6 wins came against teams who are currently 30 and 45 or 400 winning percentage. Miami and Orlando are the only wins versus teams above 500. So, yeah. Knicks lost. T-Wolves are playing good ball right now. Pacers, 157-152. Oh, and I like that Atlanta's partnered with the YMCA jersey patch. But there was an over-under for the game yesterday between the Pacers and the Hawks. They went 57 over the over-under. 157-152 the other night, last night. Crazy, right? Crazy. Yeah, talk about Ozzie Fudd. Phillies locked up Oh, Zegras has been on the injured list since November 7th. They think this is interesting from the coach, where Greg Conan said that, he held out for a contract, and there's different training on yourself and going against other players where, he said, that the bench, so they come late because they were a contract dispute. But he also said, he makes a good point about the difference between working on your own and being involved in puck battles during game situation. He said that's probably what's happening without being trying to be a doctor or a trainer, that things mirror what happened with Jamie Drysdale, also who's out, lower body injury, is that, that areas from your knees to your chest, that's the core and where you're doing a lot. There's a lot of pressure in those areas when you're battling people. Now, if you're just training on your own and not hitting anybody, big difference. So he's been out. And Crystal Dunn is a free agent in the NWSL. Congrats to her. Good luck with that. 2024 season is set to open in Seoul, Korea. The Padres, March 20th and 21st. Mexico City, Houston, Colorado, April 27th, 28th. And London, Mets and Phillies, June 8th and 9th. And the Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays will also play spring training the DR Paris series scheduled for 2025. And the London series to take a year off before returning in 2026. And Gavin Dickey, the new Astros farm director, 4-star high school quarterback, backed up Rex Grossman and Chris Leak at Florida before turning his attention to baseball. That's pretty cool. And TGL postponed their season to 2025 due to damage from there was a ceiling, the air supported dome. No one was injured, but it collapsed. So that's not good. I thought that was crazy. And Randall Cunningham has been hired at UNLV, not for football. He's going to be assistant coaching position with the track field, specifically in jumps. No, he's coached track athletes in 2 Olympic Games and 7 World Championships. His daughter Vashti has won medals at various World Championships and signed by Nike. His other daughter Grace is currently a junior at UNLV, so he will now coach as she's a hopeful for the Olympic Games. His son Randall was a high jumper and won 2 NCAA national titles at USC. He is his number 12, retired at UNLV. He's also in the College Football Hall of Fame, and he's 4-time Pro Bowler, is a member of the Eagles Hall of Fame. How about that? I thought that was pretty cool. All right, let me get to some trivia questions. All right, last show's trivia question, the one I didn't do when I was on the show with Aaron and with Aaron and Josh. Which of the following was an actual NFL Thanksgiving Day award? Was it the Stuff and Muffin Medal, the Turkey Trotter Award, the Cornbread Cup, or the Galloping Gobbler? The Galloping Gobbler replaced the Turkey Leg in 2002. The trophy has gone through a few changes over the years. It initially consisted of a turkey in a Heisman Trophy-like pose. It switched to a bronze-like statue of a turkey with a football. In 2011, the Galloping Gobbler switched to a clear plaque with an engraved image of a turkey. Thank you, Underdog Newsletter. They're on IG as Joker Mag HQ. They always have great stuff. Today's trivia question, because I just said, this is idiot. It's just, what did Mitchell Robinson do? What did Mitchell Robinson do that he became the first NBA? What did he do? He became the first NBA player in 30 years to do what? Mitchell Robinson did what? Became the first NBA player in 30 years to do what as a player? He did something in each of the first 14. Can you tell me what he did in the first 14 games of the season that had never been done before in NBA history? That's my trivia for today. Josh, Aaron, Michigan, everybody, Bill, Harris, Kramer, Hal, Dom, I'm sending my love, man. Dom, I'm sending my love. I love you, Dom. Hal and his family, Gumbo Chef and his family, Harris, Bill, Bumbles, Jay and his family, Marco, Roberto, Glenn, Rhonda, my client Linda, Carol, Martin, Harriet. I mean, the list goes on and on. My mom, having my mom is great. I love my mom. She's the best. She's always there for me. I'm always there for her through good and bad, everything. So everybody, enjoy these holidays. Josh, Aaron, your families, the core four. Yeah, Broccoli Rob. I mean, people, Treetop. I know I'm forgetting, Shoop. I'm forgetting other people. I know I'm forgetting people. If I'm forgetting you, I apologize. I know I'm forgetting. I know I'm forgetting. I brought up Kramer. Oh, LG and Ben and Benjamin and Lucy. Everybody, I'm thankful. Izzy and Daryl, Scott, Dr. Ahola. I mean, yeah, I'm thankful for a lot of people in my life. I am. Dr. J. There's, yeah, Fallon, Babs, James. James is a good guy. James is a good dude. There's a lot of good people in my life. Juan. I mean, there's a lot of people just, and all the people listen to the show. Ethan, Yankees Recap, Lanker, Darlene, Maddie, Mr. and Miss Latour, Gloria, Eric, David, D, Bear. Bear's great. Bear's great for my mom, but I love Bear. Bear always in a good mood. All right, send them left to everybody. Happy and healthy. Mrs. S, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving. Tell the people you're with you love them. It's very important, all right? Big S and Familia. I'm blanking. If I'm blanking on people, I apologize. But I think I did a pretty good job right there, all right? So thank everybody. Have a great day. Peace out. I will talk to you all soon. Adios. Adios.